including Mr. Sayer. And turns out, when the police arrived, they banged on the door, they opened it. It was a 25 people group sex, gay group sex, because it was 25 men.
Let's call it a gangbang. Yeah.
Let's call it a gang bang. Now, the funniest part is that he got caught there and he wanted to escape really quickly. So he jumps out the window and starts climbing down the wall of the building where the police are like waiting for him. And it's just surreal, you know, like climbing out the window, an EU Parliament member. And after that, they found some drugs on him, because of course they did. And that's after that he handed in his resignation. It's
So
what's up, everybody? This is SoFun. You have Dini and you have me, Joe. In this podcast, videocast, we are going to sum up our favorite news stories from the week before. And that's it. Dini, shall we start?
we should start, mate. We've been waiting a bit for this, and sorry about taking ages, but you know, in this year nothing is for certain. We don't know what to expect, and basically this is what we wanted from this episode as well, to just just say sorry and just get on with it. How you doing, Joe?
I'm good. I just recently moved to Ibiza. Moved here actually 1 week ago, so I'm just getting used to the vibes over here. It's a bit slow. COVID fucked everything over here as well. It's nothing much happening. I'm here in Spain, in Ibiza, and Dini is in England, where there's a lot of happenings.
Yeah.
Again. You guys just opened up this week, right?
Yeah, we
December
did.
2.
We did on Tuesday. We moved to a tier system, which we already started before, because we had a lockdown, a month-long lockdown. It didn't really affect me that much because I was working through the whole way. As you might remember, my wife is a GP, so she has been working the whole thing, so like 9 months non-stop, so she's quite exhausted, as myself as well. But yeah, and we moved to this tier system, and Bristol, where we are based, is a tier 3, which is the highest tier, and this means that basically everyone opened up apart from restaurants and cafes, which is obviously a bummer that we cannot go out, but you know, Christmas shopping is almost done for me, and yeah, it's quite challenging, but we do see the vaccine coming.
You guys can actually register for it because it's going to happen there in December, no?
Yeah, apparently. So Sarah will be the second group who will receive the vaccine as health workers, as first line workers. Because the first group who will get the vaccine is 85 plus people.
Really? The old people get it first?
Yeah, this is kind of a strange one, but you know, you take what you get. I mean, you know, it's for us, it doesn't really matter. For Sarah, it will be great because she can travel. Hopefully, I'm in my mid-30s, so for me, it will be obviously quite a bit. But yeah, the first theme, what we wanted to talk about is the vaccine, isn't it, Joe?
Yeah. We wanted to. It's a very strange thing. Like, we're both from Hungary, where it's a totally different situation over there. Then I see what's happening here in Spain. You see what's happening there in the UK. And in the UK, they accepted the Pfizer vaccine, right?
Yeah, the Pfizer and the BioNTech is the other one, which both has been accepted. Both has been sent.
Are those both US?
I'm not sure about it. Pfizer is, for sure, but apparently some has German roots and some has some Hungarian help as well, and I'm pretty sure that's the BioNTech one, which is 95%, apparently 95% was that
Work efficient.
working efficient? Yeah. So um, we'll see. You know, we just that's what we missed the most, and you didn't really get that because you were traveling nonetheless. Because obviously, because you're mostly a marketing and YouTube person, you can go into quarantine if you really have to.
Yeah, I live in front of a camera in a room. Like, my job didn't really change from 2019 to 2020. I'm in a room filming myself, so it's like, okay, no restaurants. That's a bummer. Except for here in Spain, we do have the restaurants. They are
in
open,
tier two
which
as
is,
well. In tier two as well.
But how does this tier system go? Because I don't know that. So you have tier 1, 2, and 3.
So basically, tier 1, 2, and 3. Tier 1 is literally all the least inhabited areas like Isle of Wight, Isle of Man, and Cornwall, which one of my mates live there.
My cousins live there, actually.
Oh,
my
okay.
cousins and their family live there.
Yeah, it's a great place. You know, it is quite a nice, a different place than most of Britain because it's quite cool. It's obviously you have sandy beaches and it's a great paradise for surfers. And now you can actually enjoy most of what you did before this whole COVID situation because they are in tier 1. So tier 2, quite a few places, including London as well. That means that you can actually play sports indoors. You can actually go to restaurants where you do have meals and not just alcohol. And pubs can stay open or open back up where you can actually get food and not just get smashed. So these are the places where you can go, and we are in tier 3 as Liverpool, as I think Greater Manchester as well. I'm not sure. Maybe Manchester is in I think Liverpool or Manchester. One of them is in tier 2, but they before lockdown they were heavily infected, and there, as us as well, we cannot play sports indoors, which for me as a tennis player is.
It must suck.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm sort of playing ignorant about these things at the moment. I just wanna let it go, and I don't really wanna think about it that much. And so no restaurants, no cafes. The retail open back up as normal. I work in retail, so for me it's pretty much the same routine as it was. And the other theme, what we wanted to talk about, is actually that fans were allowed back into the stadium. So yesterday, my favorite team, which is Arsenal, they played in the Europa League. I know. Yeah. I mean, I get a lot of stick because of that, but you know, my team sucks at the moment, so it doesn't really matter.
Mine does too. Don't worry, I'm a Manchester United fan. And
yeah, I mean, most of the guys who's connected to TC, our friend, is a United fan because that's, you know, I'm the odd one out, I guess. So yesterday in the Europa League there was 2,000 supporters in front of our glorious team. And it was so good to see them back. It was.
The atmosphere definitely changes, but like, I think that, well, this coin has two sides. I think, yeah, it's good to have the fans back. It brings back the atmosphere. It brings back a little normality to the situation. But I mean, if they're limiting people to go to restaurants and they're limiting people to do this and that, is it a good idea to let the fans in? Or is there any, like, what do you see from there? Is there enough precautions over there?
I think the whole thing is a bit of a theatrical thing. I think in a 65,000 capacity stadium, 2,000 people is a joke. So I mean, it could have been done with all the precautions and everything. It's if you think about it, it's like nothing. They're just all around the place. There were like literally 2 people per row. I think it's absolutely fine. So if you think about it, it's not really a thing, and you know, it is what it is. I think like you have to start somewhere. The economy we will have a recession.
It does, and I see it here in Spain, especially here in an island of Ibiza, which is mostly focused on tourism, and the place is dead.
Yeah.
The place is dead. Like a lot of people left. The housing market is down. I mean, we got an apartment over here for 900 euros right next to the sea with sea views. It's crazy. And this whole thing really destroyed the economy. And yeah, there should be some ways to bring this back. There should be some like steps forward to see that we're actually advancing in this stage. Obviously, I'm not up to date with England's numbers on the virus situation, but if they do it correctly, yeah, it could be a good decision to bring back some atmosphere. I mean, it's better than the what they do. You know, they play the music and they play the sounds of the fans on football games.
I mean,
that's very weird.
It was sort of funny as well because like when you've been watching on TV, it was absolutely fine. So I mean, they did an amazing job, to be fair. So that was one of the themes which we actually haven't talked about before. What we'll touch in this episode or in this now that like this get together, which we could finally get together. But yeah, so I think they made an amazing job. So I'm more than happy because you know, it's sort of they still work the whole thing through. So you could still watch sports after quite a bit of pause, and it's you know, for me, I would definitely say that to get people back to the stadiums, to get the sporting events up and running, that's gonna be my second degree, sports management, which I started in September. I'm studying now the economy side and the law side and the management side of sports, and obviously for me, if sports gets back to normal, that's the best of me and best for me. And
one question though, how do they decide who those 2,000 people are?
Yeah, I think that's a raffle. It has to be. So I don't really see any other. So obviously there's like 100, 200 people who are like, you know, high up the list. But you know, I'm pretty sure that the season ticket holders just, you know, picked out from just you know, a hat or something.
And what happened to this? Like, I never thought about this. Like, you buy a season ticket. You bought it back in 2019 for the 2020 season. Did those people get their money back, or did they get their
I'm
free
pretty
season
sure
tickets?
they are sort of trying to figure out ways on not to lose the money and sort of roll over or just pay half of it the next season. I'm a member of a club here, a tennis club, and when there wasn't any tennis allowed on the courts, you didn't have to pay, which obviously sucks for the team and sucks for the club. But you know, no one had this, so I'm just calling this as our world war. So this is pretty much our world war, and as
I do feel like that as well, because it's the same symptoms as a world war. You can't go out, you're being limited, the economy is fumbling, traveling is really hard. It's exactly like a war, and people are dying, except not because of bombs, but because of viruses. So
yeah, I mean, you know, we'll get through this. You know, we talked about it. Obviously, you have great things in your life which you're waiting for to happen, which obviously is in a sort of a you're just pushing it months and hopefully not years forward, because you don't really know what to expect. That's the same for us in a way.
I kind of feel like that too. Like life stopped in March because I had like different kind of projects running, a lot of things happening, and everything is on hold. Nothing is happening because COVID is like, okay, when that goes away, we can get back to this project, we can get back to that project. It's like the world is on a vacation right now, and you're just waiting for it to be over.
Yeah,
on a sad kind of vacation.
The only thing is that it's not a good vacation, isn't it? So that's like the issue.
It's one of those kinds when you go, you pay a lot of money, and the hotel's
raining.
shitty, and it's raining all the time.
It's raining all the time. Yeah, it is. Yeah, you go there. Yeah, you don't get a taxi, or your car is just too much to pay
and you
for. So
paid
you
a
just go there
fucking
by
lot
bus.
of money,
Yeah.
and now your money's gone.
Horrible. Yeah, it is. It's it is what it is. I mean, we cannot really do much with it. We just have to get on. So yeah, I mean, two more things about this, and I want to stop the COVID, because I think we touched it now, and we are planning on doing this weekly. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Exactly.
So and hopefully next week we won't be talking about COVID. But two more things which I wanted to touch. One is that the darts World Championships is happening all the time in December, and the finals is on New Year's Day, and basically now they let 1,000 people in, so 1,000 spectators will be there on each day, every day. No singing, no outfits, so no costumes.
But that's like the best part of darts.
It is. So
that's why people go watch the darts fine, but
watch it. Yeah.
That's sad.
So
but at least they can go.
What they also did was they moved it to the Ali Pali's main room, how is it called, like the big room where they usually held it in a smaller room of the Alexandra Palace, and 1,000 people, no singing, no costumes. It's gonna be weird. Might as well just not let anyone in.
This is the theme of this year, weird, which comes to the next topic on a very weird and actually funny situation, which I'm dying to talk about with you.
And dark.
It's like, so I don't know if the people who watch this show know much about politics or follow politics. You don't even have to know anything about it right now, but this week, was it this week? I think it was this week, Monday or Tuesday.
This week, yeah. Basically, he handed in his resignation, I think, on Sunday, and then the bomb just went on Tuesday, I think. Yeah.
So we're talking about the EU Parliament member, Szájer József, right?
Yeah.
He's a Hungarian politician.
József Szájer, yes.
József Szájer. He is a right-wing politician for the Hungarian Fidesz party, which are very Christianity and very right-minded. Against
we should just put it right wing, not right
wing,
because that right-minded is sort of a positive term, and it's quite hard to say positive terms about our government.
That's exactly what I meant to say. The thing is that he's anti-gay. He's against everything that is the liberalism in the world, and he got caught. Because obviously in Brussels, in Belgium, is the EU Parliament, and now they have this lockdown situation as well, so more than 10 people can't be together or whatever. So the police get a notification that there's something happening, and they go check this party where there are more than 25 people, including Mr. Szájer, and turns out when the police arrived, they banged on the door, they opened it, it was a 25 people group sex, gay group sex, because it was 25 men.
Let's call it a gangbang, yeah.
Let's call it a gangbang. Now, the funniest part is that he got caught there and he wanted to escape really quickly. So he jumps out the window and starts climbing down the wall of the building where the police are like waiting for him. And it's just surreal, like climbing out the window, an EU Parliament member, and after that they found some drugs on him, because of course they did, and that's after that he handed in his resignation. It's
Yeah. So the thing was that he handed in his resignation on Sunday because he stated that he just burnt out of the pressure what he's feeling every day. And on Tuesday, as we talked about it, the whole bomb just it just went off, and it was found out. So just for our friends all around the world and not in Hungary, because in Hungary it has been a non-stop meme founding. A meme factory was just going strong. We had memes of Mr. Sire every day.
But not only,
is crazy.
Not only in Hungary, Ryanair tweeted 2 days ago, you want to escape from, a quick escape from Belgium? It's like €14.99 flights anywhere.
Yeah. So and the whole world knows about it. So basically, what I wanted to say about this guy is that he was the one who came up with the constitution, and he wanted to write in the new Hungarian constitution that the father is a male person and the mother is a female person. So he's anti-gay. He's absolutely anti-gay marriage and gay rights, and now he's found on a gay gangbang, escaping, found drugs on him, which he said wasn't his, ecstasy, by the way, and apparently when the police crushed the party, they thought that it was part of the act, and they started to unzip their zippers of the police.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
so the people thought,
because they thought that the police was actually. So it's just so unreal. It's literally like and
the
guy,
police enter and the guys in there.
Yeah.
Like,
they
okay,
thought it was even like and it's so wrong on so many different levels that it's just. The Hungarian government is a matter of a laugh about now around the world, unfortunately, with our prime minister, and now you pretty much know our stance. But we moved to a different country because we felt like that the everyday in Budapest, which is one of the most glorious cities in the world, it's just the whole atmosphere of the city was so angry, so upset that we just had enough. We just had enough, and basically that was one of the reasons we ended up in the land of Boris Johnson, which is questionable how better he is, but at least here it's like they don't always take you as a fool. So and back to Mr. Sire, and I wanted to just touch that as our I would say last theme for today. I'm absolutely pro gay rights, and we talked about it before as well. Before I lived in London from 2011 till 2012, and before that I sort of didn't know much about gay people, and I didn't really,
because you don't really see them in Hungary. I mean, Hungary they never really open up, and they're not so
only just a few
outspoken.
Celebrities.
Yeah, so it's like
it is sort of you fear the unknown back home, because obviously the politics of the right wing is so Christian. It's so they think about it how amazing the whole it's sort of basically that was pushed through that the family has to have at least 3 or 4 children. There shouldn't be any gay family, and they shouldn't adopt. Now with the constitution, they cannot even adopt. They cannot even get married.
Really, this is the new constitution that they changed.
So they
recently.
basically they changed it. That was one of the last acts of Mr. Sire. So that is even more scary.
But it's so weird. But then why does the dude stand up so much against his own kind? What's wrong in his head?
So the thing is, as I say, we don't know what's happening behind the curtains. In Hungary, I even know it from my own experience, not with gay people, but I'm not going to go into much details, but one of someone who I know really well. That person never came out, and obviously living a sort of a weird double life in a way, and that person could have easily chosen to go out to London. That person had, I'm not even gonna say the sex of that person, so that's why I'm just stating that person instead of anything else. So yeah, and to be honest, I don't know. I don't know why people are not honest. That can lead to cancer if you're stressed out all the time because your life is a lie. But sometimes they just feel that is the right thing to do.
Or maybe
we're
maybe
different. We're different.
Maybe it was a direction from higher up, like, okay, this is what you have to do, and it was just for him to keep his job, his, I think, nearly 30,000 euro per month job there. Because I read that somewhere that he was making like 30,000 euros.
He's a
really
really talented guy. That we cannot take away from him. So I mean, he who actually is in the government, who is in the inner circle of the group Fidesz. They do know their trade. Even if we go about it, and even if we don't believe that, they still do know their trade, and if someone is that clever and someone is that good in something, that person would be good in another thing as well. I believe so. So it's a matter of choice. Obviously, we were talking about the 80s and the 90s Hungary, which was even more in the dark ages.
No, that's totally different.
So you can't really come out. You couldn't really come out when you were in the 90s. You couldn't really come out pretty much when you were in the 2000s. Now it's a different world. Obviously, it's changing, but it's changing really, really slowly.
It's changing slowly, but I think there is a lot of progress, and I think that the social media world, and I think that a lot of attention from the media helps this. Now, sometimes I do feel they go totally overboard, so the PC culture for me is sometimes a bit too much. I'm not against it at all, but when they want to slap you in the face with it, it's like, oh, whoa, okay, I understand. Like, I don't have a problem with anything. I consider gay, trans people, they're people too. They're who they are, and I don't care. If I would be like no, or I like don't care, that would just say that I have an issue. So I don't care about these people. Everybody should do what they fucking want to do, and that's it. That's the end of that's the end of the story. And yeah, it helps them. I understand a lot of stress goes in with these people. I understand that it's very hard to identify what you really want in life and come to terms with yourself even about these things, because sometimes they don't even want to admit it to themselves because they were raised in a different way.
Yeah.
So
sometimes their parents don't accept it. Sometimes the consequences.
Maybe they feel they have too much to lose. They're afraid to lose what they have, and they don't want to risk it. I don't know.
To be fair, mate, I don't know either. We are accepting people, but you have to bear in mind that basically we are. I mean, we can say, I don't know about your mom. My mom is definitely, she's quite accepting, but obviously she's, she obviously was brought in an anti-gay, anti-trans.
I think all of our parents. So all of our parents. I think.
It obviously we are the first generation, I think, who were born in the 80s, who sort of accept anything which is out of the ordinary, and we that's why I say that, like, when people that's one of the weirdest things, when people say that, oh, I do agree on that one, so I don't have any problem with gays until they do it between the four walls, and it's like, oh mate, like that's not even on the ballpark, mate. So it just that's why I absolutely agree on parades. That's why I absolutely agree on I don't go out on those, because I'm absolutely sort of, I'm trying to stay in the middle. I don't like radicalism. I don't like going against one side or the other side. So that's why I basically say that yes, we have to do as much as we can to accept everyone for who they are.
Yeah.
And
Even if they end up in a 25 guy gangbang climbing out the window.
It's more about hypocrisy than anything else. I think that's the problem.
That absolutely is.
So
yes.
I think that's the main problem, and that's what the basic basis of the Hungarian constitution and of the Hungarian lawmaking is, that hypocrites are sitting in higher up places, and that is what has to change, and hopefully it will change, and then we can all go home and live a good life in speaking our mother tongue, and just enjoying, because we are talented people, and we don't live in Hungary.
I think we're, and I don't want to disrespect any other nation, but I think Hungarians are one of the most talented people in the world, but they've been under pressure for so long that they don't even believe it from themselves. I mean, just look at, I know it's very cliche to talk about this, but the number of Nobel Prize winners we have compared to the size of our country. We're a fucking small country. It's 12 million or 10 million people plus whatever's around.
Nowadays, yeah.
Not even 10. And it's surreal. And I read a very interesting article about this, that due to the Hungarian language, the complexity of that language, our brain works a little bit harder, and our brain works a little bit differently, making us think a little bit differently, think outside the box more, and think from a different perspective. And this gains an advantage for us. And I see this here in Spain a lot now that I'm here. And after I read this article, I was thinking a lot about it. And yeah, the way I, as a Hungarian person, would approach a problem is totally different than let's say, a Spanish person. And whenever I thought back to my Dubai days for the Arabic people, and the US days, and for the Americans, it's totally different how I assess a situation from the other ones.
They are great in what they do. That's
of course,
what I've just
of
seen.
course.
So what I wanted to say is that the Hungarian people who are like, well educated, obviously have background of studies and such. We do have a different mindset, and we do have such a broader knowledge of word history, word literature, of other nations, that it's just unreal. And yeah, I mean, I totally agree, and that's what I found in the UK as well, that it's so hard to talk about like general, like history and literature and arts and everything, because that's like common knowledge for us Hungarians.
Exactly.
It's not for anyone else, and as we say, I'm really proud to be a Hungarian. I absolutely love that I'm a Hungarian. It's just that it's challenging nowadays to be a Hungarian.
It's very challenging. It's very challenging, especially when news like this comes out. But let's hope that next week we'll get some better news. Maybe less embarrassing for Hungarians, and laugh at other nations a little bit.
But hey, we are in the news. We are in the news. So I mean,
well, that's
negative
that's
news
something.
is still news. So this is how it is.
Success and fame, exactly. All right.
Cool.
Dini, thanks for talking today. See you here next week. We're gonna sum up. Hope something interesting happens. Hope you get out of lockdown soon.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but hopefully we can play tennis indoors.
Before we finish, what is the outlook for you? When are you gonna? Because this is what I wanted to ask. Going right back to the first topic. So your wife gets the vaccine, but you don't, and even though you live in the same house.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. My girlfriend, she's a midwife. I guess when the vaccine gets here, she'll get it, and I have a choice. I can either go home or get it here. I'm pretty happy about this because I can choose. Because in Hungary, I know they're gonna have the Pfizer one. They're gonna have the Russian one, which is
questionable.
Questionable. And there's another one, and the prime minister said, "Oh yeah, we want," but they ordered like 85% from the Russians and the rest of the 15% from U.S. and wherever, to say there is choice in Hungary. But at the end of the day, come on. So I'm curious. But anyway, I'm going home to visit for Christmas. Hopefully you can go too, or you guys can do something like that.
No, not this year. We haven't been back home since November last year. But you know, as I said, I'm trying to stay ignorant about these and not gonna pressure myself into.
It should be the most simplest thing to go from there. Like, I know that even now London flights, that they're like 15, 20 euros. You should be able to hop back home anytime.
Yeah. And that's gonna be the case when we're gonna get vaccinated. So
yeah.
Let's just leave it at that, and
let's leave it at that, and let's catch up next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to see you, mate.
All right,
and,
Dini. Very good to see you.
Yeah.
Talk to you later.
Yeah. See you guys. Take care.
Bye, guys.